Hi hookers, my name is Jaden and this is The Knit Show. Today we are fully embracing the spirit of Halloween and the spooky season with these plush pumpkins that we'll be making today. But instead of this size, we're making this size. Here are the list of things that you need. You need 2 skeins of this kind of like fluffy material, this fluffy yarn. And you can do it in this color, you can do it in this color. You're also gonna need 1 skein of this green yarn in the same fluffy material. An 8mm hook, some really long upholstery needles, a regular yarn needle, which is about this big and it has a really big eye on it. The last thing that you're gonna need is a whole lot of stuffing. Like an insane amount of stuffing. Let's get started. Been about an hour and 20 minutes and this is how much I've gotten done. I have to take a break because I'm taking my little brother's senior photos at 5 and it's about 4:37, so I actually have to leave like right now. I will see you hookers later. I'm back, hookers. I went out and I took some photos for my little brother's senior photos. I almost lost my phone in the woods. Forced my mom and my brother to go and look around the forest for it, which we were out in the fucking boonies, so none of us had service and we couldn't call my phone, so it's a really good thing I didn't leave it in the middle of the woods. It was actually just in my car the entire time, so ever the drama queen me. I think I'm basically done talking on camera for tonight. What I am going to do is drink some tequila and do a face mask while my boyfriend makes me sushi, because I am a spoiled and lucky girl. If you see me again, I'll probably just be working on making this as tall as I want it to be. It's the next day and honestly I haven't done much crocheting today because my best friend was in town and we went out to lunch, and now I'm gonna go and run some errands with my boyfriend. I will see you guys later. I'm back. It's much later. It's like 7 o'clock on a Sunday, which means I can't stay up late tonight and crochet. But this is how much I have so far. Pretty tall already, but I think I want to make it just a little bit taller, and then I'm going to start decreasing. I increased until about 16 stitches between each increase, so that means there will be 16 stitches between each decrease. you're gonna wanna do invisible decreases. And if you don't know how to do that, I can link that in the description below. What else? It's been an exhausting day. I've done a lot today, and I think I'm gonna do just a little bit more work on this, and then I am going to take a bath and go to bed. Excuse the look because I took off my makeup because it's bedtime, basically. But I have the size of my pumpkin, and I have the hole that I'm gonna stuff the stuffing in. When you stuff your pumpkin, depending on how hard you want your pillow to be, I use this as a backrest because it's really firm, but if you want your pillow to be a little bit squishier, just don't fill it up as much because you will be adding these lines which will cinch the pumpkin up. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'm gonna close it up, and I think I'm gonna wait until tomorrow when I look a little bit better to explain it to you guys how to do the lines on the pumpkin. Oh no, this is quilting. Oh no, I got
Not gonna work?
Look.
You can probably still use it, right?
No, it won't come apart. Like, it needs to come apart. Oh no.
So I ended up using the stuffing anyways, which turns out to be a mistake later. So if you get the wrong type of stuffing, do yourself a favor and go back to the store to get the right kind. It will save you a lot of heartache later.
I'm done for the night. That was incredibly frustrating. I had no idea I bought the wrong kind of stuffing, so I'm done. Look where we are. This is my room. I'm finally back home after a long weekend of staying with my boyfriend. So we are going to go run a few errands today. Let's go, Lucas! I got some more stuffing, and I'm really hoping that this is enough stuffing because I am not prepared to run out again. Because I was using quilting stuffing, there are some like indentations that I'm going to fill with this polyfill, and then I'm gonna close it up. After we sew this up, we are going to make the stem and the curlicue, and we're going to assemble it all together, and that is going to be it. And then we'll have a big, cozy, comfy pumpkin to hang out on, and I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be awesome. Let's finish filling it, and then let's close it up, and then I will show you how to do the lines. You should have about this much yarn left, so pretty good chunk of yarn. Don't cut it when you're finished. I know it's tempting, but please don't, because you're gonna need a really, really, really long string in order to do the lines on the pumpkin. Okay, let's finish this puppy. So now you have your pumpkin. This is the bottom, this is the top, and if you have stitch markers like me, you can just go ahead and pull those out now. You don't need them anymore. So now you have this really long end, and you're gonna wanna take your upholstery needles. The really, really long one is the one that I'm gonna be using because my pumpkin happens to be really tall. Ow. Don't poke yourself with it like I just did. What you're gonna do is you're gonna thread the end through this, and then you're gonna stick it through this top part right here, and you're gonna go all the way down through the bottom. This is gonna take a couple tries, so don't get mad at yourself if it doesn't go through the first time. So you're gonna wanna come all the way through this bottom part. So if you can see that, you're gonna wanna come through the center of that part right there. And then you're just gonna wanna pull it through. So my string keeps breaking, and I don't know what the problem is, because when I first made this, I did not have any problem with strings breaking. So I'm gonna try something different and I'm gonna come back and explain to you what I did. It's basically gonna just be the same thing, I hope.
I kept having issues with my string breaking, which I assume is because I used the wrong stuffing, but luckily I filmed this part of the last pumpkin I made, so enjoy a clip of past me explaining this step.
So you're just gonna wanna go in through the middle and out through the back, like this, you know, however many times. I suggest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like that, I don't know. If you wanna do more, but I also doubled it up, so I went on each part. I did 2 times around so that there's like 2 here instead of just 1, because this is so big and I'm planning on using it as a pillow. I didn't want it to rip.
Basically, you are going to continue to thread your string through the center of your pumpkin over and over until you get the number of indents you want. But if you are also dealing with thread breakage like I was, you can do it the way I do it here.
That was one of the most frustrating things I've ever had to go through, because like I said, on the first pumpkin, on the second pumpkin, on the third pumpkin, and on the fourth pumpkin, breaking of this stuff was not that big of a deal. So what I had to do was I had to double it up, thread it through, attach it at the top, and then I couldn't go through the pumpkin because it kept breaking. So I just went around, attached it, went through the bottom, over the edge, and then I just kept doing that until I had this kind of like pie kind of thing here. I am willing to move on to the, more than willing actually, to move on to the stem and the curly Q. I'm gonna go get a beer because that was insanely frustrating. Oh, cheers. That's good. I've liked pumpkin spice for my entire life, but there's been this thing on Instagram where people are like, I feel so grown up now. I was never about pumpkin spice and now I'm about pumpkin spice everything. I've always been into pumpkin spice. I don't know what you're talking about. Does that just mean I've been old my entire life? That makes sense actually. All right, let's do the stem. Okay, so you're gonna grab your green, you're gonna grab it, you're gonna do a magic ring, you're gonna do 6 single crochets in the first round, and then you're just gonna increase like regular, like we did with the pumpkin. I think I want a thinner stem for this pumpkin than I did for the last pumpkin. So I think that that's good. I think I'm gonna make it taller than the last pumpkin. That one is like a little short stubby stem. This one is gonna be thinner. For the first round, without increasing, you're gonna go in the back loop only. This is gonna give you that flat top, so it'll actually look like a flat stem, and then it will go down instead of being curved. Does that make any sense? Am I making any sense right now? Yikes. I think I've decided I want a really long stem, a long skinny stem. If yours is fatter than that, go for it. It ain't my place to judge the size or width of your stem, good sir. I'm gonna go ahead and fasten off. So this is what I was talking about when I said put your first row of single crochets without increases should be in the back loops, is because it creates this like flat top. Let me just sew this in. That this is really tall, but it's fine. I kind of like this look. Once you have about this little space right here open, you're gonna want to stuff your stem. Let's do that real fast. So you're gonna want a pretty stiff stem, so I just packed it pretty tight, and now I'm just gonna close it and then we'll get started on the curly Q. Okay, I've got my stem. It looks pretty funky without the curly Q, so let's do that. you're just gonna chain. You're not working in the round for this one, you're gonna just chain, and you're gonna chain a little bit longer than your pumpkin, or if you want a shorter one, you're gonna chain shorter. And then you're gonna do 3 half double crochets in each stitch. And that is what's going to make that curly Q look. All right, hookers, this is the finished product. I decided to add 2 curly Qs just because I thought that the stem looked a little bit long for this pumpkin, but I think it looks pretty good. Every pumpkin is different, and I honestly like the pumpkins that have a little bit more character. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. Hopefully your project came out really, really nicely. Hopefully you didn't have as many issues as I did. Next time you're feeling perfectly imperfect and you'd like to see somebody else dealing with her own shit show, come on back to the knit show and crochet some more with me. I'd really appreciate it. I think that's it. Grab your drinks. Cheers, hookers.